Welcome to Evilive, the live media commentary show that answers the question, can you trip uphill for a win? Uphill? Uphill is what I meant to say. Subscribe if you're new to the channel because today we are reviewing The Great British Baking Show, Collection 11, Episode 10, Finale.
This one
Final week.
was intense.
Final week, and I was shocked.
Same.
Shocked.
I'm still shocked. Especially like looking at everything laid out, like how everybody did, still shocked as fuck.
The math don't add up.
Yeah.
And it's when we started this episode, Maddie straight up said, "I'm the underdog."
Mm-hmm.
Like he just because he's a humble person, at least he's portraying one on TV. He doesn't even tell people. He's ashamed to tell them that he's a baker. Like,
that was insane to hear. Like I don't know. Of course I'm probably biased because the industry that I'm in and the people, like the company I choose to have, I can get away with pretty much whatever, and it's not shocking, and nobody's like, whoa, you can't do that, you're a such and such. But you got this fucking jock guy who's a coach, and he's having to lie to people about brownies that he's making for his kids. It's like, man, come on, fuck that. You made good ass food. Fucking live up. Like, to have people be like, oh man, you're great. Yeah, well, my girlfriend did it.
It's so strange because if you like reflect back on like Japanese culture, like ancient samurais, they had to be well versed in poetry, art. Like they were students of the human condition, and they were the most respected warriors in all of Asia.
Yeah.
What warrior poet is like an honorable thing. Art translates to making food. So I just don't understand why there's a lot of things I'm ashamed of that I don't ever tell anyone. It took me however long you and I have known each other until like a year ago to tell you that I like played Dungeons and Dragons, for fuck's sake.
Jesus Christ. And that was like pulling fucking teeth. Like, we talk Star Wars almost weekly. Like, and that's not even recording.
Yeah. Yeah. I have many deep, shameful passions that I do not speak of. Surprisingly still. Maybe I'll make YouTube channels about them and admit to them then. But like everyone has their things, whatever is, they're sort of embarrassed for whatever reason. Like I cannot be in my professional environment and start talking about some of this geeky stuff. I can't. But
that's understandable.
Cooking, brewing, yeah, that's a good thing. That's a prideful thing. I don't know. It's just it makes me judge him, not his confidence or his ability. It's just like, what's wrong with inside you that you think baking is a negative? And if you really think it's that bad, why the fuck did you show up for the show?
Yeah, it's just insane to me. Like, what's so bad about being able to provide for those you care for? Like, that's people try to give me shit for baking stuff. It's like, cool. Guess who doesn't get to fucking eat what I just made? Simple as that. Right.
It's such a beautiful way of showcasing not just your talent, but your care.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. So that bugged me a little bit. But then, seeing his relationship with his girlfriend and how passionate she was for him just endeared me to them both. And also kind of made me hate my wife just a little bit because she doesn't support me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, honey.
Yeah, definitely doesn't support you in anything you do.
The only reason why I can do anything is because of her.
Right.
But I fell in love with this guy on this episode, which is weird because it is like they were tipping their hat at the very beginning. They're like, okay, let's endear you to this guy and then see the shocking ending.
Yeah. Yeah, so. Still shocking.
Yeah. So again, signature technical and showstopper challenges in the signature. They were eclairs. Love me an eclair.
Fuck yeah.
I would George Costanza eat it out of the trash. That's how much I love eclairs.
If there isn't shit on it,
yeah.
Who's to say you can't do it?
I mean, it was
who hasn't eaten out of a garbage can before?
The garbage. So it, technically, I love
yeah, it's fine. It's safe.
It's totally good. It's totally fine. Anyway, he who dares eclairs for Dan.
I don't remember those.
Matcha in it. I don't understand matcha. I don't like the taste of it.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
I just don't get it. And like as soon as he said that, Paul was just like, "What?"
Yeah, because Paul fucking hates matcha.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, the thing is, like, matcha is a tricky flavor to use because either it's going to taste bright and earthy and almost floral, or it's going to taste like cat piss. There's no in between.
Yeah,
it's very rough.
Cat piss. That's rough. Yeah, so I wasn't impressed with any of these eclairs, to be honest.
Man, Josh's were fucking beautiful though.
The tropical and mocha.
Yeah, the mocha one, like having that beautiful shell on top. Like I thought his looked fantastic. Well, I guess okay, specifically the mocha one.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was great because it's like, oh my god, that's like basically a fucking like a Mexican dessert that I can never remember what the fuck they're called, but the giant beautiful buns that are just happy pillows of flavor.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, like I dug his. I thought they looked great. Matt's sounded great.
Yeah.
And Dan's was surprising because Paul didn't completely hate it, and it was matcha.
Yeah, that's the other thing is like watching this, I thought a lot of them they baked the actual eclair dough itself too long. Like they looked way too dark in my particular taste.
Mm-hmm.
And then it looked like, and I can't believe I'm saying this, it looked like they were filled too much. Like there was no dough. It was all just filling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's disappointing because that's part of it is like part of the great aspect of eclairs is the choux pastry. Like you get that beautiful crunch and flakiness in it, and if it's all just smushed in and stodgy, it's like why even bother?
Yeah, I don't know. So just for me, the whole time I was just being really hypercritical about all of them. Like, you three don't deserve to be here. Who the hell are you?
Right?
How dare you fuck up an eclair? But no one got handshakes or anything.
No,
but they were generally well received. I think the mocha was the most well received.
Yeah,
by everyone. But then, who doesn't like chocolate and espresso? I mean, come on.
Right, that's just kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah. The Lardy cakes. This was a total disaster. First of all, let's be honest, it was a fucking fruitcake.
It is, but it's a old British fruitcake.
Yeah, from like World War II era recipes. I love it. Someone was talking to Dan, and they're like, "Don't you remember this recipe? You were around then, weren't you?"
Yeah.
So the last episode, Alison wasn't even there because she was feeling poorly, whatever the fuck that means. And then this week, she and Maddie, I think she has a thing for Maddie.
Dude, I thought the winner was going to get fucked. I legit thought that's how that was going to play out. Like that girlfriend was going to get beaten the fuck up, and then she was just going to take the winner to Pound Town.
Oh, I would love to see her just bitch slap the girlfriend and just grab Maddie. Just and dip him.
Yeah, I was waiting for it. I did. I'd have not turned it off.
God. It was really interesting too because right before they did the judging or the final announcement and they were cutting to all the previous contestants, it was hilarious, some of their answers. Mm-hmm. Like, I can't even remember who the guy's name was, but he was like, it's really hard to choose between, all your favorite people. It's like choosing a kid. Josh is going to win.
Yeah, I love British humor, man. So dry and sharp, and it's so great.
It's fucking amazing. And then Saku. This just made me miss them so much.
Yeah.
Her just being like, well, it's going to either be Dan or Maddie or Josh. That's who's going to win. And she did like a little almost jazz hand thing. And just like, oh, I want to hug you, woman.
Yeah, man. She's awesome.
So much. And that Scottish lady, is that Nikki or something?
Yeah.
God damn it, I miss her too. Her just giggling and laughing about how close everyone is together. I'm just like, I don't want to be close.
I just want a spin-off of Saku and Nikki Adventures.
Yeah, dude.
Because
they get together.
Like, obviously we get it in the fucking credits.
You fucking road trips and shit.
Right? Like, I want to see that shit.
Maybe if I was on social media, I could find it. Just stalk them.
That's effort.
See their pictures and stuff. But then I'd have to be on social media.
Yeah, and fuck that. That's miserable.
So the Lardy cakes, I didn't even know what to expect. Mm-hmm. Even when Paul was showing yeah, exactly. No one had a fucking clue. Even when Paul was showing like the finished piece, I was like, ugh.
Yeah, it's like it's
gross.
It's what you eat when you're stoned and you have like cases of MREs in your basement. That's what that reminded me of.
It's like something that comes out of a bag or a can.
Yeah,
And
no,
you're just
straight
like,
up.
"Ooh, this is delicious. Mm.
Like
Who
that
would've
was my
thought?"
childhood. Was fucking killing a case of was it I think it was MRE fruitcakes, and that's
Oh my
basically what they look
gosh.
like.
That's that's
Dude,
hardcore, man.
the fact that I'm still alive is amazing. I understand.
Your internal organs are all preserved.
That's
Like,
probably what it is.
everything is.
I'm immortal now.
You will live forever. So Josh got first. I don't know how, because I have no basis of understanding how they judge. It didn't
Yeah,
fall
that's the
apart
thing.
like Maddie's. So
Yeah, like that's pretty much it. Like Dan's, I guess it makes sense, but like Dan's didn't have the layers. Maddie's just completely disintegrated, pretty much. So I mean, yeah, I guess I can see why Josh won. The disheartening thing with this episode was after the signature. Sorry, we're talking about this in the middle of the fucking episode. Was Dan. Like you could just see the resignation on his face, like when they were like, "Ew, these are fucking gross." He's like, "I guess I'm not winning this shit," and he just like checked out.
he totally checked out, and I felt like he checked out at the beginning.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the signature,
Oh right, yeah.
like it wasn't turning out well, so he's just like, I'm not gonna win this.
Because you do have to, you would think, fire on all cylinders on this final day, or the final 2 days for this episode, because that's it. That's all they have to judge you by, and you only have 2 other competitors. If they make one mistake, and you don't make any, well, you win by default. You would think, but that's not what happened. So that's what makes it so much stranger to me. His eclairs weren't horrible, but they weren't good.
Yeah, and it's like the thing is, I understand making something that you want to make, but you also got to understand your crowd or like the people that are trying it. And it's like you're giving Paul Hollywood, somebody who on record has said he hates matcha, almost every fucking season. Like you're gonna make him that at the beginning of the finale. Like, come on.
Yeah, and then he's like, well, how much you putting in there? And Dan's all, oh, you're not going to taste it. Well, then why put it in there at all?
Right.
He's all, yeah, it has a little texture. Yeah, that's the ticket.
Shit.
All right, John Lovitz.
Right.
I don't think so. Fucking. The hard part about this show is the taste factor is completely unknown as a viewer, so it's hard to disagree with the judges. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm what you call a fat kid. I have a pretty
I have
good
tasted
understanding
things
of taste and stuff like I think I
palate.
figured out.
I imagine like unless the texture's way off or the flavors are just super fucking like out of my wheelhouse, then of course I'm not gonna have a clue. But I think generally you can pretty much imagine. I mean that's how I live my life watching this show anyway.
Yeah, right. Because it's all the shit
and I'm just like dying.
Right, man. That's like the worst thing. It's equally the worst and the best part about the show is getting high and watching it.
Yeah.
Because then it's like I just want to bake, but by the time it's over, I'm baked, and it's like,
yeah,
I kind of just want to sit here and read.
Can't do both. It doesn't work that way. But Dan got second in the technical, so it's not like he was horrible. So I don't know. He did very much seem like. Well, here's the other side of it is that it did very much seem like Dan this entire competition has been trying to push boundaries. Like I want to share these flavors that I want to try out. They don't usually work, but sometimes they do, and sometimes he surprises the judges. So is it better to swing for the fences? Or is it better just to cater to the audience?
Right. And that's a tough one. It's a perfect Icarus story. Like he just has that complex where he's going towards the sun. And unfortunately, most of the time he gets way too close.
Yeah. In either case, Josh won because he didn't shit the bed and everyone else did. So congratulations again, Alien Man.
Right.
And then the showstopper came around, and this is where things got really weird because I was not impressed with any of it.
No. That's the thing. Like the finale showstoppers are usually these big fucking elaborate pieces that are just awe-inspiring. And it's like, you are not human if you can create that. Yeah. All 3 of these I could make.
Yeah.
And would be equally as impressed with, which is to say not.
Yeah. I mean, everyone was being cheeky about how bad they looked. Maddie's was leaning over.
Mhm.
Dan's, he would put these fucking undercooked goddamn
Macarons.
macarons
Yeah, man.
all around the base of it like a fucking weirdo.
Yeah. Like he should have just nixed that. And he even told him, was like, dude, you should just nix this.
Yeah. And then his surrounding thin layer of white chocolate was too short. It was all jaggedy. It looked like shit. He was straight up muttering under his breath, "Dog's dinner. This looks like a fucking dog's dinner," the whole time. Well, then don't serve it. Like, do something else.
Well, the thing is, too, it's like white chocolate is so easy to fuck with because it melts so easily. It holds its temper easily. Mm-hmm. Make a fucking strip.
Yeah.
Instead of making those undercooked, under-risen macarons that, like, those look just awful.
I would have done like a cascading like flower design element down the binding edge of all that.
Yeah.
Because then you just have a very beautiful looking cake.
Mm-hmm.
Problem solved.
Well, and then of all things, like they were talking, I can't remember if it was with the contestants or not, but they were talking specifically about lemon being underutilized. Mm-hmm. And he fucking did exactly that. Like, I'm sorry, I never fuck around when it comes to lemon shit. If I'm doing something that's lemony, I want it to hurt the back of my fucking jaw. You know, everybody else be damned. Like, if I don't lose all the enamel in my teeth and just cramp up, it's not the right amount. So the fact that
if
he's like doing
Charlie
like little droppers
in my jaw, then I've done it wrong.
Yeah, exactly. It's practical. But yeah, it's like this is the finale, and you're not gonna just go over the top with that, especially because this was them essentially doing their worst bake, or it's their first bake. Mm-hmm. Like, do the first thing that they ever made, but make it awesome. It's like it's a fucking lemon cake, dude. Come on. Where's the fucking lemon?
It was fucking dumb. I was so disappointed. Mm-hmm. And the thing is like the top of it, the little meringue, toasted meringue with a little fruit in the center, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
But that was just one little tiny
good.
topping layer. Mm-hmm. Everything else was just like, fuck are you doing, dude? This is it. This is your last chance to tell them I have to win. And instead you said, please send me home.
Yeah, straight up. And I don't get it. Like, another thing like you could have done is, instead of doing the fucking macarons, like, which you realize those aren't going to work, fucking chuck them, thinly slice some lemon, candy that shit, slap it on the side. That's going to look fucking beautiful and professional. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They practice this too. It's not like a technical challenge. Like, they planned this.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing, is they essentially get a week to practice the signature and a showstopper.
Well, fuck Dan, because he gave up before he even got to this episode.
He did. Yeah, and as soon as he got that collar on, man, that was when he was like, I was expecting him to walk out of the fucking tent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's what it seemed like.
Yeah, for sure. He was definitely resigned to his fate. Like, you could just see it oozing out of his pores. It was just sad, really.
Yeah.
Josh, however, kept fighting. He did pretty good with his eclairs. He got first in technical. All he has to do is make a competent cake. I don't know, the design choice he made, I thought was weird as fuck.
It was amateur as fuck. Like,
it's like a kid's birthday cake or something.
I've seen kids' birthday cakes better than that. That was insane. Like, he could have at least smoothed shit out and gave it some semblance of finesse, I guess. But yeah, that was rough. And then for all the flavors to be meh.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty bad when they're like, oh, I mean, the cake was good.
Yeah. Oh, jeez, like, it's so depressing. Yeah. Poor guy. Because that lost him the whole thing.
Yeah, straight up. And you know what it is? It's he got in his head over not bringing his own shit in. And I think that's where his mojo came from, was his homegrown shit. Right. And having run out of everything, essentially, and not bringing his own stuff. I think it fucked him.
I think you might be right. And then Maddie's. I thought his looked like hot garbage.
It did.
Like, it's just hot garbage. I don't know what he was doing with the colors, and then the gold leaf rando. Mm-hmm. Like, what the fuck was that? I still don't understand it.
He didn't either. That was the crazy thing, because he's just like, oh yeah, I saw somebody do this and I thought I could do it. And it's like, yeah, there's a little bit more to it than just bloop, bloop, bleep. Like it's like you're going for almost a flame effect. Like you need to have at least like 2 or 3 3 or 4 different colors, and then give it some movement as you're going up. And that was just like,
oh, is that what he was trying to do?
I don't. That's what it looked like. Like that's essentially what you do.
Sure.
Like either like the flame or leaf effect, but it's having more than like 2 or 3 colors.
Yeah.
That's what gives it the texture and shit. But yeah, it didn't look good. And then I mean the cake itself sounded delightful. Obviously it was fucking good enough to win. Right. But yeah, that lean was just so awful. Like we've seen people get sent home for that.
Yeah, and it wasn't just the lean, which was bad enough, but it was also like bulging. The top layer was bulging down on its own weight, which is something I don't think I've ever seen before. It was very, very strange.
No, top layers, it makes sense.
Yeah, right. So that I thought was very, very odd. And then the fact that when they cut into it and they tasted it, like, ooh, I don't like that. You have good cake though. Like the texture of his cake was okay, but the taste wasn't.
Yeah.
Which at that moment I was like, all right, so it's got to be Josh. Like,
yeah, that's it. Exactly it. It's like, Josh's might not have looked the best, but it was structurally the best. The flavors were there-ish. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was big fucking shocker.
Yeah, so they get everyone, all the families and everything, and then all of a sudden Maddie is called out as the winner, and he is as shocked as everyone else.
Dude, there's got to be B-roll of him fucking just bawling his eyes out. There's no way there isn't any of that.
I loved how he was like walking through the camera of Paul Hollywood doing his wrap up.
Well, and the best part is they don't even give the Paul final like whatever he was recording. They don't even release it. It's just like, nah, that was funny. Let's keep that instead.
Like, who cares what he has to say?
Right?
He's only like the only long-lasting host. Oh man, it was such a I was like just jaw on the floor the whole time, like, but how? Like, I understand a sort of, you come back, you're playing football, soccer for us, and it's like 1-0, and then the last quarter, or the last half, I should say, because it's fucking soccer, they get 2 points, 2 goals, and you're just like, oh my gosh, they did it, they pulled it out of their ass, like, you can't believe they actually did it. This, he shit the bed.
Yeah, like
I don't get it.
Especially the technical. Like the technical should have been the deciding factor. Like I honestly thought that was going to be the order it went in, because that made sense. Mm-hmm. And
I'm still trying to understand why he won. Like I like Alison, the story, but
I think she slipped some money or something underneath the door, like, hey, it's supposed to be him.
You never had a hard on until you've had a British baking show hard on from a winner. They are those winners. They get rock hard.
I can imagine.
Alison wanted to ride that fucking pony.
It's like, let's test out this integrity with the cake pan or the cake display.
Yeah. I don't get it. I don't get it. Congratulations to him. He was very gracious, and I loved how he acted and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
He was fun.
Well, and then it was pretty heartwarming, especially with, the judges being like, look, now you have to tell people. You can't be ashamed of this anymore. It's like that. It's heartwarming. And it's like, I feel like that's part of it, was his story is what got him, the win. Yeah. But it's like Josh was there too.
Yeah. I thought Josh's story was the best.
Yeah. I think, honestly, it came down to the fact that you looked at the 3 of them. 2 of them had 2 wins. Or did Dan have more than 2 Star Bakers? Let's look at that.
He had 2 or 3 technical wins, and he had 2 Star Bakers.
Yeah, he had 2 Star Bakers.
And he's had a couple handshakes.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think, honestly, it was just between... Well, fuck, I guess everybody went in with 2 Star Bakers. I completely forgot Josh got 2 of them. I thought he only had 1. Fuck, I don't even know then.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand it at all.
Like, I really was thinking it had to have been just the rest of the season factored in, but like looking at the layout, it's all pretty fucking even. Like I wish you
Yeah.
guys could see what we're looking at. Like we joke about us talking about this like sports, you know, other like normal people talk about sports.
Yeah.
We literally have a graph of everything laid out. Like it looks like a spread. It's fucking awesome. Yeah,
I
man,
don't,
it
I don't get it.
still blows my mind. But I mean, you know, realistically, whoever won would have deserved it. Like
Yeah.
they've all excelled. Dan maybe to a lesser extent, but it's like it almost balances out because he does reach so far that when those win, they're fucking killer wins the earns. But yeah, it's an interesting one. Did not call it. I feel like usually I can guess who's going to do it this year. Nope.
Yeah. I thought last year was shocking, but this was much worse than last year for me. I was just like, what?
Right.
Because it was that thing where it showed Tasha, you know, during those sort of contestant or previous contestant little interviews. And she was like, I think Maddie could surprise everyone. And then Maddie was like, I'm an underdog. So in my head, I was like, that would be amazing if that happened. It'll never happen, but that'd be amazing.
Right.
And then it happened. I was like, that's not amazing. What?
Yeah.
I mean, good for him, but I don't want to shit on his parade, but what?
Yeah. It was,
And still.
it was pretty surprising.
All right. Well, did you have a favorite bake of this episode?
Oh, really? Honestly, I mean, like I said, probably the most impressive thing to me was Josh's eclairs, and specifically the ones.
Yeah.
Like those were fucking beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah, fantasy baking league. Yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it, Chris. But yeah, I think that's really the only one that stuck out to me this entire episode, which is weird.
Yeah, all by that. Yeah, especially because it is the finale. Like, you expect those big, grand things they used to do.
Yeah.
Like, it was a huge deal. It took you, you know, you had to do multiple different types of baking and massive components and build some sort of 3D structure and stuff. And now it's just like, make us a cake.
Yeah.
What?
That's honestly what it felt like.
I mean, that's how it's opened, too. It was like, make the baking show cake. And they all did great. And you're just like, huh. This is going to be a weird season. They just gave up. They're just like, fuck it. We'll just...
Yeah, they ran out of ideas, I guess, or something.
All right. Well, that's the episode. I didn't have any favorite bakes of this one. I thought, you know, Josh's eclairs are probably the best out of everyone's. But to not have the finale showstopper be a favorite bake says a lot.
A
about the finale.
lot. Yeah.
It's just weird. Fucking weird.
Yeah, I feel like they're really... Like, this is probably the least amount of, like, props built for a season. Like, even last season, a lot of people are bringing their own shit in. They had their dads doing shit or whatever.
Molds and shit.
Yeah, and it's like, this was very, very lacking on that.
Yeah, it's a lot. You know what it reminds me of is the last season of Mandalorian. They're just like,
yeah,
that's weird. Like, I like Mandalorian, but that's weird. And this is like, I like baking show, but this is a weird episode. Like, what?
Yeah,
Something
definitely
doesn't add up. All right. Well, that's it. That is the end of our covering of this collection 11. So if you missed it, sorry. I guess it was a weird season, but it was fun because I think this season had more interesting personalities than a lot of the past seasons did.
Definitely.
And I really like that part of it.
Yeah, I feel like in other seasons we usually get like maybe 2 or 3 quirky people, but this was like pretty much throughout.
Yeah.
Up until I would say like the semifinals, we had interesting characters.
Yeah. Yeah, and as far as like reviews go for this channel, I mean, unless I see a really cool movie or do like an old school movie review, we're kind of like there's nothing really else going on. So
right, especially thanks to the writer and actors strike. Like it's
yeah, that's delayed everything.
It's well, I mean, yeah, we're not even gonna get shit until like filming probably won't start for most things that didn't get a pass until like January or February. So it's gonna be kind of light on stuff.
Yeah. So if you don't see us, have a good happy holiday. If you have holidays, there's Kwanzaa, there's Hanukkah, there's Christmas. There's a multitude of pagan holidays.
Festivus.
There's Festivus. I mean, you can find something to celebrate for a holiday. So have a happy one. And
Yes.
that's going to do it for us this year, probably. That's weird because we still have like 3 weeks before the end of the year, but
Right.
I have nothing else going on. So,
Well, we got a few things going on, just different channels.
right. Yeah. All right, people. Oh, I do have a book review coming out. I'm almost finished with The Changeling, which is amazing.
Nice.
Great book. So that's coming up this week. So you can look forward to that. All right. What do you have going on? Anything?
Well, Adam, we've got Hellraiser review on
Hellraiser.
next Sunday, so that's gonna be fun as shit. Discussing
Over on the
Hellbound
floor,
Heart
perfect.
and the seminal 1987 movie by Clay Barker.
Mhm.
Week after that, we've got Empire Strikes Back novelization review, which that's gonna be a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
You guys should check it out.
Yeah.
And
So-
I even grabbed my hoodie to show off the beautiful merch that we have for the other channel,
Ooh.
and I forgot to change. So
You just lift it up.
Yep.
Look, this is the
Yep.
black.
buy some shit. Yeah,
Looks
that's
dope
fucking
as hell.
that's metal as shit.
So great. God,
Get 'em.
looks good. All right, everyone. Have a fantastic year. Thank you so much for tuning in live or after the fact. Let us know, did this surprise you, this finale? Did you have a favorite bake? Are we way off? Did you see Maddie winning a mile away like Tasha did? Maybe she just had her ear to the ground and she felt the vibrations of the wind from
You
the
know what?
future.
She cranked the hearing aid so she was able to
That's
actually
what it
hear
was.
the future.
I need to get a fucking hearing aid now. if that's a feature, I'm in. All right. Always remember, the evil spelled backwards is live. So get out there and be evil.
Hail Santa.
Jesus would want you to be evil.
Absolutely. 'Tis the season.